Hi, everybody. It's Jesse Yoder here again with another episode of Flow and Philosophy. I know it's been a little while since I did the last one. We're going to try to pick up the pace a little bit. And that reminds me, I got a couple of comments from the last one that I was not moving fast enough and I should pick up the pace a little bit in my delivery, so I'll try to do that. I did find, though, that the people that criticized me most were ones that had never done a video, so that made me feel a little bit better. I know probably some of you want to know or would be interested in knowing what we do here at Flow Research. Frankly, we spend a lot of time reading Us Magazine. Here's Jennifer Aniston. It's always good for a cover story on a slow news week, the latest escapade with her and Brad Pitt and so on. One of my favorite segments of Us is Loose Talk, and you'll see that here. Cameron Diaz says, I never say never to anything. Now, how's that for a good piece of philosophy? The philosophy of Cameron Diaz, I never say never to anything. Okay, Cameron. We also have People magazine. I'm not as much a fan of that, but I do read it sometimes. Or I look at the pictures, as they say, about Playboy. People on TV, you see Anderson Cooper. I find that he's down here. What I do find is that as time goes on, I recognize the people that are being covered in the magazine less and less, and they get younger and younger. So I don't know what that says about me, but I'm not going to go there right now. Anyhow, today I want to talk more about the the flow end of things, not so much the philosophy. I want to talk about types of gas and the types of flow meters that measure gas. I said that I would do that the last time, and I did to some extent, but I ended up really talking about a more fundamental distinction, which is types of fluids. I discussed gas, steam, petroleum liquids, and non-petroleum liquids. And I mentioned that in all our studies, we asked this question about what percent of your flow meters are used for those four types of fluids, and that helps us in our studies because we do studies not just on flow meter types like Coriolis, magnetic, vortex, and so on, but we also do studies on gas flow and oil flow, and we have one on steam flow as well. Now, we just finished up a 3-volume set on gas flow measurement, and so I'd like to start by talking about types of gas, and then we'll get into the flow meters used to measure gas, in case that interests you. If not, I hope you'll stay tuned anyhow, and maybe you'll find something interesting to hear. Certainly gas, everybody can relate to gas. Gas is all around us. We can't see it. I like those people who claim not to believe in God, and they claim to be purely scientific, and they say, if I can't see it, I don't believe in it. Well, you can't really see gas. You see its effects. As I said last time in that song that I sang about the wind, you can't see the wind, but you can see its effects. So gas, it'd be very hard for us to live without gas. In fact, the air we breathe is a gas, and it's actually a mixture of gases, largely nitrogen and oxygen and argon and some other rare gases. So there's gas is really essential to our very existence, kind of like water is to fish, I guess. Um, Sometimes we distinguish between industrial gas and natural gas, and natural gas is a big focus of our research because it's a form of energy. It's the gas that is comes out of the ground is comes out with oil and water. When people drill, companies drill for oil and gas and various all over the world, really. But that's what drilling is all about. Finding natural gas, oil, and water is not really part of what they want, but it has to be stripped off. So, but speaking of industrial gases for a minute, those are made actually farther down the flow stream from the natural gas. Um, there are gases that are used to, well, actually, generally they're put in containers and they're used like propane, for example, and they're used to for cooking, for heating. Generally, as I said, they're sold in containers. Companies like Air Liquide, Air Products, and Chemicals are a couple of the companies that make industrial gases. So we study those. They're part of our, you know, part of our subject in the gas flow study and in other studies, but we do tend to focus more on natural gas. Now, speaking of natural gas, where does it come from? Well, it comes out of the ground. And like oil, it was made from a period of really millions of years. This is at least what scientists believe. Dinosaurs, many reptiles, and different types of animals were buried in the ground for really millions of years, and the pressure put on them caused oil and gas to form. And when people drill for gas and oil, we're really, taking advantage of billions of years of activity, or well, it's not really activity, but millions of years of events that come to our benefit now. What is sad now is that oil was first discovered, as far as an oil well, in Pennsylvania in 1859. A man named Drake was the first one to discover oil. Since that time, we've used up a lot of the oil and the gas, the natural gas. Actually, we've used up a higher percentage of the oil in the earth than the natural gas. There's actually quite a bit more natural gas left than there is of oil. But it's kind of sad in a way to think of our using up these natural resources at such a rapid pace and not leaving any really or perhaps adequate amount for our descendants and people 100 years from now who may need energy. And that's why a lot of countries are turning towards what are called renewables, solar, wind, wind power, and fuel cells. There are various types, biofuels, biomass. I think this is the trend of the future, but I think natural gas is going to be kind of the bridge that gets us to that future. So it's still a very important part of the energy chain, and it's going to be around for believe me, more than 100 years, and certainly in our lifetimes, we'll still be seeing oil and gas used, even though the trend is more now towards cleaner forms of energy. And I think that's good. I mean, we can see the effects of climate change. It's not really debatable anymore. And so even the large oil companies like BP and Exxon are investing in renewable fuels at this point. So until next time, hit the like button if you like the video, please, and subscribe to our channel if you feel so inclined. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you soon.